was your meeting with Kash Patel?
It was great, very substantive. We talked about all that needs to be done at the FBI. There's a tremendous amount of work to do. We've got to, number one, we've got to get the FBI out of the business of trying to spy on Catholic parishes, out of the business of sending SWAT teams to pro-life demonstrators' homes, out of the business of trying to target people of faith. And we talked at some length about all of those things, and he assured me he wants the FBI back in the business of prosecuting criminals. We talked about child trafficking, about human smuggling, and the need to get the FBI working on that, including the fentanyl crisis and fentanyl smuggling that's going on across the United States everywhere. So I was very encouraged by it. I just can't imagine what the holdup will be to his nomination. I think he will easily get through the Judiciary Committee and on the floor.
Have you heard of any real opposition to his candidacy?
Not really. And I don't know what it would be. Look, he's been a federal prosecutor. You look at his background in government. I mean, I don't know how you could argue he's not qualified for this job. He's ready to do the job. He and Pam Bond, ADAG nominee, are already talking about how they can begin to stand up their respective agencies. I mean, I say that FBI is under DOJ, but I think it'll be terrific. She's terrific, and I think he'll be very good.
Do you have confidence in his ability to maintain independence from the presidency and to maintain independence in that role?
I think that it's really a matter of maintain, maybe is the wrong verb. I think it's a matter of regaining that independence. I mean, you had the White House, this White House wrote that infamous school board letter and used it to activate both the FBI and the Department of Justice against parents who were going to school board meetings. And they lied about it. They said it was an independent letter. We now know the White House wrote it and then used it to activate the biggest, most powerful law enforcement agency in the world, the FBI. I mean, that just cannot happen. This cannot happen. And we talked about that. The FBI has got to be about enforcing the law, not about doing the bidding of political actors. And that's what's happened for the last 4 years, and that has got to change. And we have got to get back to enforcing the law, prosecuting violent crime, safeguarding this nation's border, and there'll be, the FBI will have some role in that, largely by going after people who are smuggling children, who are smuggling other individuals, and who are smuggling drugs.
Did you talk about, political persecution of the January 6th committee members? Is that something they should be concerned about?
We didn't talk about the committee. We did talk about, I brought up political persecution of people like demonstrators at abortion clinics, pro-life demonstrators who were there peacefully, who've had people like Mark Hawk in Philadelphia, or in Pennsylvania rather, who had an FBI SWAT team come to his door. This is ridiculous because they are acquitted completely of all charges. This is absolutely outrageous. I brought up the attempted infiltration of Catholic parishes by FBI agents. I mean, what country is this? And I said to him, you have got to put a stop to this on day one. And frankly, people need to be fired for it. As far as I know, nobody at the FBI has yet been fired for lying to a FISA court, falsifying evidence to a FISA court, going after pro-life demonstrators, trying to infiltrate Catholic parishes. Nobody's been fired. So I urged him to take action to get the FBI back to being a law enforcement agency and to fire people where it's appropriate.
And Christopher Wray, do you think that is a substantial block in his ability, in Patel's ability to get confirmed?
Well, Christopher Wray potentially resigning or not resigning?
Yeah.
My hope and expectation is Christopher Wray will resign. He has lost my confidence. I won't speak for the president-elect. It's pretty clear the president-elect doesn't have confidence in him, but I have no confidence in him whatsoever. I think his tenure at the FBI has been a catastrophe for that agency, and I haven't even mentioned yet the FBI's deliberate use of the big tech companies, the biggest corporations in the world, to unconstitutionally censor American speech. I mean, it's just it's outrage upon outrage. All of this has to stop. I mean, is it not enough to just prosecute criminals? That's what the FBI should be doing. We've got to get back to that. I think Patel is committed to that. And Chris Wray has just not done it. And he needs to go. I expect he will.
Not related to Patel, but Tulsi Gabbard, do you think that you said that Patel doesn't really face opposition, but Gabbard is someone who might, and RFK Jr. is coming up next week. What do you expect in terms of, do you think that the meetings will be okay? Do you think, are you expected to meet with RFK Jr.?
I am hoping to meet with RFK Jr., yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I have actually never met him before in person, so I'm looking forward to that. I know we'll have a lot to talk about. I just think, as a general matter, it's pretty unusual for a president's incoming cabinet members to not receive the full support of the president's own party. I think that's only happened for 2 cabinet members in the last 35 years. So I would just think the baseline here is, I would think most Republicans are going to be like me. Their presumption is they'll support all the president's nominees. It's his cabinet. It's the beginning of his term. I'd just be really surprised if at the end of the day most of these folks don't get the support of all Republican senators. Now, there's a process to go through, and I know people will want to engage on that substantively as I am, and they'll want to have substantive discussions like this one. And I look forward to meeting with as many folks as I can. I think I'm doing 2 more meetings today. So there's a lot to talk about.
In this discussion,
Yeah.
does Tulsi Gabbard need to just explain more fulsomely about her conversations with Bashar al-Assad?
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not up to speed on that, probably because I'm not on that committee, and I have not met her before. So if I have I'm sure I will meet with her at some point, and if and when I do, I know we'll have a substantive discussion on all of these things, and I'm sure that her hearing, she'll have a chance to answer all of that. But again, my expectation is that these people will get confirmed. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. My intention is to support her.